Hi, boys and girls. Day 9, another new character. Victor Bodkin's nephew of Uncle Isaac was the recently deceased toymaker, drove along the night-shrouded suburban lane, muttering to himself. He often muttered to himself because he didn't have a wife and he lived alone, and he was without close friends, so the only person to whom he could talk at any length with was himself. He was a sour man. Though he was still young, only 35, he seemed 70 because his vinegary personality had made him old before his time. His face was pale, lean, pinched, and unpleasant. He always looked as if he had just bitten into a lemon. He was tall and too thin. He hunched over the wheel as he drove. When on foot, he walked with a stoop as though a mountain was balanced on his narrow shoulders. At the moment, he was both sad and angry. He was sad because his uncle had died. He had never been very close, which was his own fault. Sweet-tempered Uncle Isaac would have delighted in a warm relationship, but Victor had neither the time nor the desire to be close to anyone. Now that Uncle Isaac was gone, however, Victor missed him a lot. In fact, Victor was surprised at how much he missed his Uncle Isaac. At the same time, he was angry because Isaac's life as a toy maker seemed like such a total waste. Toys were for children, not for grown men. That was Victor's view. Actually, he never cared much for toys even when he was a child. By contrast, Uncle Isaac had never really grown up, which was why he was so happy to spend his life surrounded by toys. Such a waste, such a pity. Victor braked at the stop sign and then he turned right, headed for 11 Toys, which was only about a mile away. The lightning crackled across the dark sky, and the crisp breeze blew across the railroad, and a few scraped over the car's windshield before spinning off into the darkness. He would have preferred to have been snug at home on a night like this. Besides, he has business magazines to read, bank accounts to balance, potential investments to explore and evaluate. He usually worked 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. He was very uneasy when he wasn't working. Perhaps Victor would have approved if Uncle Isaac had owned a real toy factory, a huge operation with 1,000 machines stamping out toys, dolls, and miniature trucks, and 100 other products at the rate of one every 2 seconds. There was money in big-time toy manufacturing, and Victor thoroughly approved of money. But Uncle Isaac had to earn very little from his toys, barely enough to make himself fed and clothed. He made toys for the pure love of it. Such a waste, such a pity. Now the property of 11 Toys belonged to Victor, for he and Isaac were the last living members of their family, and Victor was determined to make the business finally pay off. First, he would inventory the stock and all of Uncle Isaac's tools and sell everything. The rambling old house of many gables in which Isaac had lived and worked would have to be demolished. It was no doubt a creaky, drafty place that needed new wiring and plumbing. It must cost a fortune to heat those high-ceilinged rooms. Eventually, the 4 surrounding acres could be subdivided, and a dozen suburban homes could be erected at a fine profit. He had often tried to convince Uncle Isaac to use the property for this purpose, but Uncle Isaac had sentimental attachment to the toy factory and had not known what was best for him. Victor, on the other hand, was prepared to sell to the highest bidder. I hope you have a great day. As you know, I'm a little different angle. Miss Bowman left, and I didn't get this done early today. But I do have other co-workers helping me out today. You might be able to see right there. She was making noise. Hope you're well. Talk to you soon.